morning, everybody. We're looking at the side of the deck here. What we did was we did a PVC decking on top of some pressure treated lumber that ties into the pool deck, and then we did a small retaining wall around the pool. And so what we want to do now is there's actually a gate here, and this is our path to get down to the filter. But you can see that because of the slope of the deck, the water runs in here and has eroded it badly. Plus, we don't have a great walkway. So we want to get a gravel walkway here. We're going to build some outdoor sloping stairs. I think as I look at this, the first thing I want to do is get myself somewhat of a treated retaining wall. So I'm going to dig all this out through here till I'm about level with the bottom of the pool. Then I want to run a string, and I'll actually put posts along here, fill that in with pressure treated lumber, and then we'll backfill with some dirt, and then we'll start building stairs that go down to the pool, so to get to the filter area and some of that. So should be a pretty good adventure. Shouldn't take too long, but especially with the mini skid steer, this will be a good video. We're going to go through, we'll probably use the jib boom to haul the lumber back here because it's really tight. We're going to use the auger on it just to dig these posts in, because there's no sense in overworking that if you have a mini skid steer, and obviously the loader. So we'll get started. Okay, so I'm digging down with my hand shovel because while that Vermeer is very precise, I still don't want to knock my pool down. So I dug down here, and I just thought I'd be close to the bottom here. It looks like I dug another, goodness, 10 inches maybe. I can see where the footing is for my wall. The pool's about 10 inches below that, which is okay. That wall wasn't that tall. So I think I'm going to dig this out. I really didn't want all this stuff sitting on my pool and causing it to rust out or give me problems. I really don't know what would happen, but anyways, I'm going to continue to hand dig this just a little bit, clear out some of the dirt. The other thing I did, when you're digging down with your mini skid steer like this, I guess with your tractor or anything it matters, but I tried to just take a gradual slope down to the level I wanted, and then I went straight out, and that allowed me to make several trips out of here to make a pile. So, all right, I'm going to keep digging and take a little more dirt. Take a little more dirt out though. Okay, One thing is, it's kind of foolish to be digging by hand if you've got a machine. So I dug down here and I found the bottom of the pool where I want to be. I'm not digging my Vermeer into this path just yet, because what will happen is I'll end up just pushing it all back in here. So what I'm doing is I'm digging, I'm leaving about a foot, and I'm digging over here so that all I got to do is just, I'm going to go a little lower too, and I'll just kick this dirt over with my shovel when I'm done, versus trying to dig against the pool some more and keep scooping it out. I'll be fighting myself. So that's why we're digging over here a little bit away from the pool. We'll go a little lower, push it all in. We've got this dug down, kind of smoothed out a little bit. So now we'll be able to dig our holes without a bunch of cave-ins and all that stuff. I did dig down to the footings for the deck post, and also in here, I also hand dug under the deck because I wanted to get the sand away from the bottom of the pool there, so that it has time to dry out. And again, I don't know what's aluminum and what's steel on these things, but I think the liner, the wall of this pool, is the quote-unquote problem, where I think it's just some kind of coated steel. But anyways, you can see we got down this far, so we're going to put some 2x6s vertically here. We'll run a string, and we will poke some holes in here, and then we'll build ourselves a little staircase. Okay, we've got our lumber placed out here. The first thing we brought in was a couple poles. They're like really like twisted and gnarly, but it doesn't really matter. We're just trying to build a little bit of a retaining wall out of those. And then I've got some treated 2x6s. I got a good deal on these, so I'm going to use them. And those will be what we'll use for our stringer and even our horizontal runs. So I don't know if I'll have to double some of these up, but they're going to be sitting on the ground and supported really well, so I'm not that concerned about it. But The next thing is I want to cut and tap kind of a couple boards to the concrete wall. Then we'll run a string, and then we'll mark where we want to put our holes. We'll change the attachment on the Vermeer, and we'll get those holes dug, backfilled, and then we'll start building our wall. Come out halfway level, and then we'll start our taper down. Okay, so actually I can measure from down here. I think that first step, need to pick, I think what we're going to end up doing is going something like 16 foot. Addison, you want to hold my tape measure? We could actually go, we could go out to 18. Maybe we'll do that. We'll go out to 18. We'll have like 6 steps. So, with that decision made, the first post is going to be about 3 foot. So, let's see if I've got something I can mark with. Okay, so I've got a nail here. Alright, so 3 foot's right here, Addison. We're going to have one there. One here. Well, hold on. 3. Let's see. Yeah, I definitely want another one here. 6. And then maybe we can skip a little bit. Let's go 6 plus, let's go 6 foot. That would be 12. Nope, let's put that down. Let's go 10. So you're 3. Then we'll go out to 16. I really need to land at 15. So
take off your shirt, show the abs.
there you go. Alright, now I'm going to set all my poles on the inside of the line. And I'm going to set this one, it's about, well, it's a little over 7 inches wide here. And then it's about 4.5 inches wide this way. So I want the widest portion facing the sand that we're going to try to resist. Drop that in. Okay. Then I think what we'll do is we'll try to go ahead and just level these in. So Addison, you want to help me with this?
Yeah.
You want to come down here? Trying to get these perfect, but we do want to get close. So, my tape measure. Could you grab that for me? Okay. So this post, I want the middle of it to be at 3 feet because that's where our first step will be. Let me think about that. Do I want a middle? Yeah, for this one I'll go middle. Okay. So I'm just going to mark this string with my black marker so I can see where that line is. And then at the same height, or approximately the same height, I'll find half of 7 1/4 which is going to be 3 5/8. So I'll go ahead and mark this post. So now, we'll just double check that. Yeah. So now this line needs to line up with this line, and the post needs to be level both ways. So we'll move the post around in the hole until we get it pretty close. And then we'll backfill with the dirt that we took out. So I can eyeball this one enough to know that I better move it just a little bit. So I'm going to lift it. Oh. There we go. Okay. It looks like. Looks like I've still got to go quite a bit towards this other line. Check it one more time this way. Again, if we were building a building or something, I would want this to be a lot more precise, but I'm trying to get within a half inch. In there, Addison, because it's loose fill, so it won't be that difficult. We'll shove in the stuff with that. I won't fill your socks with sand. Looks like I already did.
It's switching out.
We've got our first post in. We went about 4 feet down. I don't have any pads on the bottom of them because I'm not super concerned that they're going to go sinking into the dirt. More worried about pressures this way. So I'm thinking about ways to put a horizontal board in here with like an L on it, maybe like a ground anchor, so that it kind of keeps it from tipping out. But anyways, that's our first one. Since I'm working in kind of like an aisle here, we went ahead and set this post, and then it's really simple. You just unhook the string, then I can mark and dig the next hole, set it, fill it, and that way my Vermeer is not constantly covering up all my marks I'm making in the dirt for each hole. All right. This post, it's just twisted and gnarly, 16 foot long. I think these would be great for this application, so I'm just going to cut it in half. You know what, I'm going to go actually let's go 9 foot and 7 foot. Okay, since we're sloping down, I'll make one a little bit longer than the other. Okay, and then what I grabbed, these were left over from my deck, but I've got a 2x10 here, and to give myself a little bit more surface area, because if you can imagine that post in the ground below my glove, when we fill with dirt above it, it's going to want to push. So if we have a wider section here, it's going to be harder to push that post. So I'm going to broaden the surface area on the next two posts. That one was wide, it was 2x8 all the way through. I probably could have put something on it, I didn't. This one happens to be 8'6" long, so we'll just take half of that, which is 4'3". We'll cut that in half, and then we'll just air nail it on there, and that'll make these posts resist those loads even better. And 4'3" is perfect, because we're burying these about 4 feet in the ground. So we'll show you what that looks like in a second. In order to cut this pole in half, I'm going to have to take several cuts around, so I've squared it all the way around. I'm going to cut through it. It won't reach. You'll see a little bit of a splinter at the end, but for what I'm doing, that's fine. It's easier than going and getting a chainsaw. You can see it's not cutting all the way through It's going to leave a little bit. I would need maybe a 1/4 inch more, but I'll just cut all 4 sides. Probably cut one more, and then this thing's going to start putting pressure on my blade, and I'll have to set it on the ground. There it is, the pressure on the blade. All right. One more right here, which looks like it broke, but okay. So now if you look down the end of this, you can see how bowed this is. And again, I don't necessarily care how bowed it is. I just want to put my straight edge with, so this is a little bit straighter of an edge. I'll put this with my string, and this can bow in the plane of the string, and I really don't care. Okay? Now, we're going to cut our 2x12. Excuse me, 2x10. Now I'll set this. Let's see. Yeah, we want it like this. This is that curve. So this will add to that surface area. Now it's significantly wider underground. Now add some nails to this. All right. And this post is ready to go in the ground. Did you get that video?
I sure did.
We maybe get the next one. I grabbed it off balance. Okay, we got our pole line in, we've got them buried, backfilled, and they're good and straight. Now we're going to come in, we're going to put our first 2x6 in, and I'm just going to set that one level. So I'll nail it over at our starting point, level it in across these and nail it to it, and then we'll start working our way up and staggering the boards in until we complete the wall. All our posts, we put our bottom level board on. We were going to start building up, and I thought it'd probably be good if we actually figured out where the tops of these steps are. So the way we've got it figured is we can drop 8 inches over about 18 feet, and each step we're going to lose about 8 inches. So it'll feel just like a step on a house. So from here, we came down 8 inches. This will be the top of our first step. Then I leveled across to this one, and then I'm going to step down 8 inches here, and then I leveled across to this one, which you can see with the pencil mark, and then I measured down 8 inches and went across. So we just stair stepped those. Now that I've got all these marked, I'm going to come through the chainsaw, cut the pole tops off, and then we'll start putting boards on here. And once they stack up to a certain point, we'll chalk a line and we'll just cut the angle on them all at once. we're doing is just stacking these boards one on top of the other. We're getting to a point now where I should be able to, we're going to put this board on, we'll put one more on, and then we're going to chalk a line, and we'll actually cut these and start taking our cutoffs and flipping them and setting on top of here. I might be able to do it after this one, so I may try that. But yeah, we're just going through here and getting these nailed on. For some of these, I've been screwing them on because they're a little warped. That's how you get deals on lumber, is when it's not that good. But push down, anchor these in. Ideally, you'd have all these boards on this side of the post so that the pressures of the soil would just push on the poles, but I didn't think of that before I started this, so now that I'm looking at it, I wish I would have, but I think we're going to be all right, because these are pretty strong for pull out. I think these 4-inch GRKs are something like close to 500 pounds each, so if we put a few in here with some air nails, we should be in good shape. Okay. You can pull that board off. Okay, now flip it over and set it over there. Like, put it on our hill now, or on our stack. See if it fits. Oh, almost perfect. See that? You can go stack it. Cool. All right, we're backfilling with water because with that loose sand, it'll pack in really nicely around all these posts. We're getting to the point where once we backfill each one of these posts and we compact them. There we go. Once we get these posts compacted, then we can start backfilling. I'm going to work on an anchor system. Maybe I can hook to the top of the post and just pull down. And then we backfill dirt over it. Maybe it'll hold it in place a little better. So I'll play with that while Nicole's filling these in. Built these, I'm going to call them angle anchors. And so the concept was put an angle brace on the post, the main post, down, and then have like an anchor at the bottom of it so that as dirt presses down on this and it's pushing out, hopefully it's not pushing my wall out. So the hope is this will actually keep the wall from wanting to lean out. So I don't know if it'll work, but I am definitely going to try it. I'm pretty excited about it. I'm going to cut at least 2 more. I'm going to do them for these short walls too, these little sections, because I actually think they could make a big difference. This is the walkway. The wall seems to be holding up. I really think those anchors are making a huge difference. All the water runs off this deck and it comes right over here and it drops, and it's going to erode this out really bad if we don't do something about it. So I'm going to try this river rock and see how it goes. So I'm going to cut a few of these bags in, just put it at this edge where we get the heaviest amount of water. Hopefully that breaks it up and then it can drain through the sand. We're all wrapped up. We got the wall in. I've got it backfilled. I put the stone up there so the water would drain from the overflow of the deck, kind of like a French drain. I I feel pretty good about it. We've got a nice path to get underneath the deck now. Got all that scooped out of there nicely. Took us a few hours, but we got it done. Now we got to make a decision if we want to put stairs or if we just want to leave it the way it is and just do some gravel with a nice gradual slope. So we'll contemplate that a little bit. We got a neighbor that asked us to help them do some tree work around their house. So we're going to go over there this afternoon. So we got our tools cleaned up and we're going to call it a day.